Aspire Minister DeAndre as he comes forward. Let's just put our hands towards him. And we're going to put a demand on the God in him. And we're going to say, man of God, preach the word. Man of God, teach the word. Man of God, let the Lord use you. Amen. I present to you right now, Minister DeAndre Richardson. Amen. Oh man. The reason I'm in tears, man, is because not only joy, but Pastor, he was preaching about seeds, and the sermon today is about pruning. And within this year alone, man, God has been I'm talking about putting me in positions, and it feels good, it's great positions, and then he'll shift. And I'm like, okay, God, all right, okay. Then he'll put me in other positions, and I think that I'm in a comfortable place, and he'll shift again. But when I tell you, when Pastor gave me this opportunity, man, since then it's just been another shit.
Amen.
And it's been closer. It's been closer to my life than more than anything else. And sometimes we get in the way because we think what's for us is for us, but what is for God is for us.
That's right. Come on, Dre. Yeah.
So within this year alone, God has been dealing with me. Y'all can sit down. I'm sorry. He's just been dealing with my character. Wait, before I go there, I'm gonna just read the scripture real quick. I'm gonna go 1 James. Y'all don't have to look it up. But as I was looking, just God, what do you want me to say to your people? What do you want me to, give them? I want to give people. No, I don't want to give people, just playing. But I'm going to it's 1 James 2-8, but I'm going to just read it. I believe it's just the first through the fourth verse. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Oh man, y'all don't know, just the warring that comes with totally surrendering to God, and it's not necessarily because you're running away, but the fact that you have to go from one identity to the next. And so God was, even for just this year alone, he's been placing me in many different positions to show me a sense of my identity. Now, I do know that I'm a leader. I do know that I'm a father. I like to mentor and things like that. But I also like football. I also love music. I also love, pizza. And I know it's random, right? But I realized that my desire is so much greater. Now, as a congregation, we come in here and we supposed to, lift our hands and give an utterance to God. But a lot of times, he's trying to take us to a place, and then there's pruning to where he has to clip us, all the dead branches, anything that's going to be detrimental to what he's trying to do for the more. We get stuck because oh man, you got to take another branch. Oh man, you gotta take another branch. Oh, you gotta take another job opportunity. Oh man, you gotta take my car.
Come on now.
Oh man, you gotta take my boyfriend. Oh man, you gotta take my girlfriend. Oh God, I'm alone. Oh God, I can't. But yet and still, God is saying, I'm trying to give you the more. I'm trying to give you the more. And in me giving you the more, and you staying and connected to me, listen, can you go to John 15:1, please?
Yeah.
In John 15:1, Jesus talks about us being connected to him. And understanding that if we stay connected to the vine, is it up here? I'm going to just read it. I don't want to go too far, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm going to stick with verse 1. This really, y'all don't know how much God has been just punching me in the gut. Like, I'm talking about every time I thought I had something, he would just be like, nah, man, I got to pull that from under you. I want to see how you respond. But this scripture alone, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husband. Later, in reference in regards to the vine, Jesus talks about being connected and God being the ultimate husbandman, which is the true master, the true cultivator. And as long as we stay connected to Jesus, God is the ultimatum. But Jesus is willing to meet us where we are so that we stay connected. He already had died for our sins. But even in that, God was just speaking to me in regards to staying connected. Because even in the midst of uncertainty as far as my identity, and I'm not saying it like I said, like it's running, but we war. I don't know about y'all, but I war. I war with, not knowing what my future holds. I war with, wanting to make sure I have this amount of money in my account. I war with being the best father that I could be. I war with making sure that I do right by people. It's still, man, let's be honest, it's still things that I deal with even as a kid. I'll be 32 next week. So, but these are the things that God is trying to prune away from us in order for us to have more of abundance of. All right. Let me go to that. So every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You can't lose. If God is pruning things away from you, it's only going to produce more. I know as a kid, and I'm just being transparent, my mom did the best that she could, and there were a lot of things that I would do, and it's just being honest, that I would want her to do. But the reality of it is she's only moving at the capabilities of what she can accomplish as a person and as a human being. She's still growing. And a lot of times what we do is, and I'm speaking for me, we create expectations because we think this is what it's supposed to be. And God, like, hey, I didn't make it for you to be that way. Oh yeah, God, I want a new house. That ain't necessarily what I see. I have more for you here. But you so focused. All right, you know what? I'm gonna make provision for you here. There go a loan for a house. Oh, you're not missing it. You're not making it. Oh, okay. But I had this for you. I had this house for you. But you said you wanted this.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? And as for me, like I said, I'm speaking for me. I realized that my character, because in the midst of those issues that I had, those insecurities that I had, trying to find validation and security in relationships and trying to gravitate towards to anything that felt like love, guess what? I was losing.
Yeah. Amen.
I was losing because I was trying to find it in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, God will allow us to go through, but sometimes he'll just be like, come on, man. I'm trying to bless you, but yet and still you want to settle for provision. So there you go. Already you are clean. When I heard that, it kept ringing to me as a mandate. Already that you are clean. Even going back to I believe it's John 13:10, where Jesus talked about having your feet washed. And I believe it was Peter. I'm gonna go back to it, but he was just saying, well, God had already knew that people were going to disown him. God had already knew that people was going to disown him. And I had to take the approach to already be well within your mind that in the midst of whatever situation, whatever problem, that I'm going to be like Christ. As far as practice, not necessarily being perfect. Because a lot of times what we do is we be perfect. The moment that we mess up, we just, I guess I'm just not going to do this no more. I tried it. But the reward is in truly practicing. I always tell my clients, be better than yesterday. I have a client in particular, she was a world-class gymnast. and I see her warring. I see her warring. I can't do this. I won't do this. I'm gonna tell you what I ate today. And sometimes I'll be like, man, like why? But I understand the reward is if you continue to be consistent, if you continue to stay connected in Him, if you continue to understand. I'm gonna tell y'all, also in love, but I'll get to that in a second. But if you continue to stay connected to the vine, you will produce. God has already made for us to produce. God has already made for us to produce, and we got to get out of the habits of trying to move before God, trying to think that we got our plans figured out. Honestly, when people ask me, well, what is your 5-year plan? I truly don't know. I know that I want to create one. However, every time I do, God like, man, I got something else for you. But I realize in the midst of me being obedient, I feel it within my spirit that it's only getting better. You hear what I'm saying? Yes, I struggle. I struggle, man. Like, I struggle. A lot of things that I don't even speak about. But I go to God in prayer because I know that if I stay connected to Him, I can't lose. There's nothing in this life that you can't do. You know, and God just been also revealing to me, or just dealing with me about you only lose once. In life, you only lose once. God is the ultimate victor, and then He'll show you how to prepare to never lose again. You may take some losses, but you can't lose. The only way you lose is if you quit. If you don't trust God enough. No. If you don't trust God, not enough, but to trust God. Oh, y'all missed that. To trust. But in trusting Him, we have to know that it's going to be uncomfortable. We also have to know that it may even be confusing at times. It's funny because my clients it got slow as far as my clientele. And I'm like, all right, well, I know what to do. I'm about to go look for a job. I'm about to go ahead and just, that's what I do. Jobs ain't nothing. I work 2 of them out. God like, be still.
Come on now.
I'm like, that ain't you. Nah, I'm tripping. Nah, that ain't you. He like, no, be still. And I'm like, God, but you like, okay. I'm like, you know what, you right. You right, I'm going to be still. But even in the midst of me being still, like I said, like he's developing my character. He's teaching me patience, the fruits of the Spirit. Even in the midst of insecurity, long suffering. Like, these things are uncomfortable. Like, these things are uncomfortable. And I know because I'm human, but yet my desire is to be more like Christ.
Hallelujah.
Can we say more fruit?
More fruit.
Can we say more fruit?
More fruit.
Say, God, allow me to let you produce more fruit.
Produce more fruit.
I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he is that bears much fruit. That's also a mandate. That whosoever abides in me, dwell in me, find comfort in me. You hear what I'm saying? Sometimes we get so wrapped up because we are so focused on what we need.
Right.
I am the way, the truth, and the light. Like, we have to understand that it's not about necessarily what we want. Don't get me wrong. The desires are there. God knows that, but it's almost like icing on the cake. He gives us the cake. He gives us the ingredients to make the cake. I'm just, hey, go ahead and put the icing on it. Shoot, I love me a nice little cake with some icing on it.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. And we have to have the same mindset of understanding that even in the midst of this pruning, God cutting these branches and still staying connected, still staying rooted. Listen, it drives me crazy sometimes because some things I just don't have a clue. And I'm so used to making sure that I have everything in order. I try to, without a shadow of a doubt, I try to be on time. If anything that takes me off my rocker, it's just like, but God is showing me, listen, I'm molding you, I'm shaping you, I'm allowing you to grow. I'm showing you your true potential. I'm showing you the more. And in order for me to allow you to get or grow into that, I have to take some things away. I have to take some relationships away. I have to take some thoughts away. I have to take away insecurities.
Right.
I have to take away fear. These are the things that we need to die to. And I get it, yes, lust of the flesh and things like that. But a lot of times, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And when I say that, we trust God, but at the same time, He give us a word. We so quick to focus on the word instead of focusing on the Bible word. We so focused on trying to run because it feels good, but yet and still God is good.
Amen.
You hear what I'm saying? Once we learn how to truly rest in Him, that is the most uncomfortable, most peaceful thing that I've ever experienced. Because it's uncomfortable to know that I have to let things go, but I'm willing to let it go if God gives me peace. Water, please.
I like that. That's good.
That was you know how that freestyle might take. But one thing God was also showing me too, right? I looked up blessings, right? And the definition of blessings was God's favor and protection. Ain't that crazy? God's favor and protection. And I went to, I believe I looked up the scriptures for this. It's funny because I'm sitting here, I'm at home, I'm writing all this stuff down. Like I'm writing a book and I ain't even looked in this thing yet. But faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Amen.
That's the evidence.
Right.
Thank you. That's the evidence. And when I was going, God, what about protection? Ephesians 6:10-18. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty. Put on His full armor of God. Those are the two things we really need, really. Because if we access those things, if we access faith, protection, in the midst of our uncertainty, faith, protection, stay connected in me.
Right.
Faith is the substance. God, I might not. Faith is the substance.
Right.
Faith is the evidence. Faith is the push when you can't push. Oh, I'm protected. I'm putting on the full armor. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. And we have to spiritually, I'm not saying physically, but spiritually, we have to take a step in knowing that in the midst of being uncomfortable, we have to be at peace with being uncomfortable. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers. And the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. It's funny because I thought I was going to get through this, but God's been dealing with me solely with this scripture as of right now. Well, just this chapter. When I saw it, when I was reading upon that, I just saw it in the spirit. It's a lot of dead things that we are holding on to within the congregation.
Come on now.
God is trying to remove, God is trying to do new things here. And I just see just cattiness. I see just small little, God, insecurities. Because of the root of God, I want to be important. And God said you are important. However, let me do the work first.
Yes.
God said you don't necessarily have to be on the drums or in the pulpit. God's saying that I have your own individual work.
Yes.
I have your own individual work. I remember I was training Morel, right? Or we was training. And two-time Olympian. She going to the Olympics. Like, she got a long resume. A boxer, 24 years old, I believe. And she like, Coach, you getting on the trail with me? I said, oh yeah, I've been on the trail, man. And she say, so we gonna do the incline 14 for like 30 minutes, and then we gonna run and walk in between. And then we gonna go another 30 minutes. I said, what? Ooh, I just got finished running 3 miles. No, Coach, just come to. I'm like, man, so I'm on that thing. I'm about 2 minutes in. I'm looking at the time like, oh my God. And I hear God like, run your race. I was like, oh, run your race. She's training for something different. She's working towards something different. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm working towards something different. She's working to go to the Olympics. I'm working because I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be able to be an inspiration to those who was like, man, I watched your video and you really pushed me, man. Yeah, I might probably not make it because she did a full hour. But in my 30 minutes, it was effective. And guess what? I'm going to work until faith is the substance of things hoped for. I'm going to work until I can hit another 30 minutes. Oh, y'all not hearing what I'm saying. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying. We have to continue to be connected. I'm going to work until, and I always tell God, if this is what I got to do, and I understand why I'm a trainer because I take it personal. I take it personal because I'm willing to die. You hear what I'm saying? I'm willing to die my thoughts, my fears, my insecurities. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it today. That's what I battle with. I don't feel like training nobody today. They not even doing what I asked them to do. I'm just being real. They call me, asking me about, and it's funny because me and Pastor had a conversation. You know, that's welcome to my world. But understanding it's not about me. It's not about me. Yeah. Be this. Oh no, I'm gonna go back to. And another thing. If it's dead, leave it dead. If it's dead, leave it dead. Leave it dead. Why we keep? I'm not gonna say that because it's busy. Why we keep going back to the same thing that I keep asking God to take us away from? God, it's comfortable. Hey, listen. If I gotta be comfortable, uncomfortable, and getting peace, I'll take that. Man, listen, I understand this life is hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Yes, I get in my flesh at times. Yes, I be wanting to knock some people out. I'm just being honest. But God, long suffering, patience, meekness. Guess what? Our life is not our own. God created us for us to be of service, but yet and still it's not our own life. You hear what I'm saying? Like I think I said something around this time last year. I said, God, I used to want the house. I wanted the nice car. That was a desire of mine. But if I don't get that, I'm okay.
Amen.
I'm okay. Because in that we focus, the focal point. Oh man, if I get, just think about it. I got my savings up to 50,000. Okay, I'm gonna go for 60,000. But what if God don't want you to do that? What if He tell you to give it all away? Would you even be open?
Yeah, come on now.
Would you be open? Would you consider it? Would you be thoughtful and would you just be open? That's what God focused more so on the posture of the heart than anything else. It's been plenty of times where God was like, give. And I'm like, man, I don't even like them. I'm just being honest, y'all. I don't even like that person. I'll go here. So it was an instance where I was cool with some people, and I don't know why we fell out. To be honest, I didn't. And they actually came up to this church, and it threw me for a loop. Two things, because I was thinking about Pastor, right? And I was like, man, if I just knocked him out right here, I was like, I know God forgive him. I was like, that ain't even right though. I was like, but I'm serious, y'all. I'm worried myself. I'm like, man, but I'm like, no, Trey, you know you can't do that. But in the midst of God speaking to me, He said, you ready to forgive him? Right. I'm like, I did. He's like, no, you didn't. He was like, you didn't forgive him the same way I forgave you. And I was like, all right, you're right. But in the midst of me forgiving him, I gave him a hug and I felt this release. And it was like a flashback of just like man, like I'm talking about even as a kid, looking for my father, you know, for me, waking up and, you know, he said he'd come pick me up and I'm still waiting. Come on, y'all not hearing what I'm saying, man. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying. Like, we hold on to things that, man, I'm good, but you stuck in your own rope because you said you ain't good. You're not good. You still dealing with these same issues, same problems, and you wonder why you can't grow. Now, I was saying that to say, this is a part of pruning. This is a process. God is trying to take away all the dead things, insecurities. I see it so clear in here. Why are we so insecure? Why are we so insecure? We create more problems because we think that we're not enough. That's okay. Let me go there too. It's not pastor's obligation or responsibility to make you feel that you're worthy. God is it's God. And then y'all get mad at him because he's not producing in what you think he should produce.
Come on now.
Come on. I'm not even trying to be funny, but do y'all know how much his phone ring?
Yes.
Do y'all know what he got to do? Ministry, father, husband, work, granddad, mentor. No, not necessarily. It wasn't, but he got all these hats. Sorry, I'm like a comedian too. I just can't, you know. But he has all these hats, and yet it's still, we like, Pastor, pour into me, Pastor, pour into me, Pastor. Well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go here. I want you to do this. I want you. But Pastor, look. Hold on, I hear what you're saying, but Pastor, look. He like, all right, man. You say you want me to do what? And he still make provision. We have to understand, like, at some point we got to be held accountable for our own weight.
Yes.
And another thing, Pastor said he's taking a break, and I hear God saying this clear as day. He say, don't put your problems on him. He's here to aid you and assist you, but quit creating an expectation that he's supposed to do it. God is supposed to do it. From a man-to-man, pastor, mentor, big brother, a lot of times I want to go to him. But God be like, oh, trust me.
That's right.
Because the very thing that you're looking for, he can give it to you, but the thing is, he teaching him as well. So a lot of times there's so many other things that he can't give it to me in the full capacity, which God is trying to give to me. It's no knock. But God said, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. So in that, I have to trust God.
Hallelujah.
I'm supposed to be in alignment with Pastor. I shouldn't always come to him about everything, and if it go right or if it go wrong. I'm supposed to be in alignment because even the words he gave the last couple of weeks, he was all up in my message. I had to change it up a little bit. I'm like, oh man, I gotta switch this. But it's on point to where God is trying to take us. But just going back to pruning as a whole, it's two terms. I believe it's civic culture and horticulture. I believe these two terms basically are natural practices as far as trees, and people they're determining the value of what trees to plant, or also as far as the grass and the lands. Like, people practice and know the value and deeds that goes with understanding the land. And God was just speaking to me spiritually. We have to know that God is the ultimate master. We have to, and I'm not saying it just, not in cliche terms, but when we don't understand everything, when everything is good, you know, we all, hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Just right.
You know, but when it's bad, like this morning, it's funny, Elder Taffad was like, Minister Dre, I need you to pray. I'm like, man, I just knew it because I was battling with some things this morning. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing is, it's hard because I didn't want to pray. I'm just being real. I didn't want to pray. Not saying I wasn't going to do it, but I had to realize God was like, listen, bro, I got you. son, I got you. I understand that you're not in the best mood right now. And it ain't even because of me. It's because of other people's stuff. Just be honest. It's other people's stuff. And I understood. I said, oh, God.
Glory, hallelujah.
More, much more. Produce more. Stay connected that you may produce even more. You're already producing in me, so I just have to sacrifice my flesh, sacrifice my thoughts, and allow you to usher in, and allow you to show me what it is that you're trying to do for my life. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. The mandate is staying connected. I don't know why that's registering with me, but okay. Because even when God is taking away those things, again, it goes back to us being comfortable, but God has given us instruction that you're not going to lose in pruning. In the process, you're not going to lose. It's only going to allow you to win. The only way that you lose is if you don't allow God to completely strip away those things. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like, we have to allow God to strip away the things, even when we think it makes sense. A lot of times I'll be like, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying, God was just talking to him about the same thing, actually. And he was just saying, like, even sometimes when they do, take fruit and they cycle through the fruit and things like that, sometimes it look good, but it still might not be good. You feel what I'm saying? And God is, even with just relationships and just trying to figure out who we are, a lot of times what we think is good for us is not necessarily good for us. And that's okay. It's okay. We have to understand, like, we have to get into a habit of not, or thinking God is trying to punish us, when in reality, He's not. He's trying to mold us, He's trying to form us, He's trying to shape us. And we got to get into a practice of understanding, like just like I said before, being comfortable, being and knowing that God, in the midst of being uncomfortable, that God is going to give us peace and give us comfort. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. By this, my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciple. And as a Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, and you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in His love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. We have to know that the process is the most beautiful thing to go through. We have to know that. You know, like, y'all know, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was a fat boy. I was big. And in me being big was a lot of habits that I just had poor habits. You know, I was insecure about a lot of things. And it showed. And I was psyching myself like I'm in shape. That's funny. It's funny saying it now, but I thought I was talking to my coach, and he like, man, can you? I'm like, man, I thought I was in shape. I was 240. He was like, you was moving like that? I said, yeah, but my body was hurting at the same time too. We have to understand, like, the process, man, is just is forever changing, forever evolving. This walk is a forever thing.
Yes, it is.
And guess what? Some habits that we have or have had, we created 20, 30, 40, experience years. I ain't gonna go all the way up there, but so we have to allow God to kind of show us, like, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Right.
You know, we be so focused in being newly saved and speaking in tongues and shouting and laying of the hands. And You don't even really know what Psalms 100 is. Like, we gotta, it's gradual steps that we have to take. You know, even in this pruning stage, when God takes away the dead leaves and the dead branches and things like that, it's a process that you have to go through. It's a healing process that you have to go through. You hear what I'm saying? When I forgave my man, it bothered me because it was unfamiliar. I'm just being honest, y'all. I forgive him, but what's next? I'm having thoughts like, well, should I trust him again? Should we be cool? Should I allow him in? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like but in those, even in those moments, God he's patching me up, allowing me to produce more. Okay, son, I understand that you was hurting. I said, let me go ahead and take care of that for you. Because now what I'll do is I'll put 3 or 4 more people that's going to lift you up and not talk about you behind your back. You hear what I'm saying? Oh, they let you go on the job? Okay, don't worry about that. How much you was getting paid? Oh, don't worry. I see what your heart desire is. How about I put you in a position where I not only give you the position, but I promote you? Come on, man, y'all know what I'm talking about. This is what God is trying to do for us. Like, he's trying to change the mindset, change the narrative. And another thing, pastor is setting the standard. And it's solely up to us to follow suit.
Amen.
Stop getting, I don't know why I keep saying, stop getting mad at him. It's not his job, y'all. It's solely not his job. God is trying to change the culture. He's trying to change the narrative, because guess what? I see it years, even months down the line, people that's coming in straight off the street hurting. And we need to reel them in. Not, why she look like that?
Come on now.
We're supposed to be past that. You know, hear what I'm saying? It's not about what she looked like. What about what her heart looks like?
Yeah.
What about being an example? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like, God is he's shifting the culture. I even seen, when I was on the drums, it was a threshold. Spiritually, I see the threshold. And y'all know, like, the carnival games where you be shooting the little turtles and stuff. And I seen our praises going up. But yet it's still, it was like, and I'm just like, we're so close, but we still in the way. We're still in the way. We still in our own way. I don't feel like it. So what? So what?
Amen.
So what?
Amen.
Why do we come if we're not giving God our all? Why do we come if we're not giving God our all? God loves us. He's doing things in love. Guess what? Love is a sacrifice, y'all. Love is truly a sacrifice. Love is uncomfortable. Love is a stretch. You hear what I'm saying? It's not always the good things, but it's the challenges that surrounded around love.
That's right.
I love this person, or I love this job until you get stressed or it tests you. Then you what's that? That's conditional love. Listen, man, love is a selfless thing. God said, abide in my commandments and abide in my love and abide in me. He's already given us the blueprint to produce. I'm taking away so you can produce. I'm taking away more so you can produce more. But yet and still, I want you to keep my commandments. And I want you to do it in love. He told the disciples that you're no longer serving, but you're a friend. That's trust. That's trust. And we have to trust God to know, like, God, in the midst of what you're taking away, I trust you enough. I told God, I said, God, if I have to suffer in order for your will to be fulfilled, let it be. And I'm being honest, y'all, like, I done been around millionaires. I done been around successful people. I done had money. I done had a house. I done had a car. Like, all that stuff is the same.
Right.
You might have more rooms. You might have a little prettier toilet. You know what I'm saying? Prettier TV. But it's the same thing. I want things in abundance. If God give me that, that's an add-on. But guess what my next focus is? How can I bless your people? You know what I'm saying? That's my focus. I don't care. I can have all the money in the world. That's cool. But what am I doing to help your people? You hear what I'm saying? Like, this is where God is trying to take us. in the pruning, in the process, in the growing. Pastor already said, sow a seed. Yes, look for the harvest. However, understand, in that harvest, guess what? God is going to strip away some things too. And you got to be ready.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. Yes.
This is my commandment, that you love one another as I've loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friend. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I've called you friends, for all that I've heard from my Father I have made known to you. That's beautiful, ain't it?
Yes. Amen.
That's beautiful for Jesus to say, like, you know, I've heard what my Father was saying, so just to let y'all know y'all good.
Right.
Come on, man, that's great. Do y'all hear me? Like, that's beautiful to know, like, Jesus went on my behalf. Yes. I'm good. Yes. Oh, man, that's beautiful, man. There's nothing that can equate to that. Oh, that's just me. I just love it, man.
I love it.
You did not choose me, but I chose you, appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, so that you will love one another. The proof is in the pudding, man. Like, God is already saying, go out and produce. Stay connected to me. You know, I understand that you're scared. It's new land, new territory, new devils, new opportunities. It's unfamiliar. But if you stay connected, you understand that God is the husbandman. He's already cultivating. Yes. He's already cultivating your plan. Just stay connected to me. Stay connected to the vine. Watch what I'll do. Yes, you're going to produce, right? We're going to strip away some things. We're going to strip away some fears. We're going to strip away some insecurities. We're going to strip away some doubts. We're going to strip away some problems. But yet and still, you're still going to grow. Yeah. Please do not stay disconnected in me.
Amen.
Don't disconnect from me, because I have more for you. Yes. Also, do it in love. Yes. Keep my commandments. Understand that love is a sacrifice. Understand it won't make sense. Understand that it's going to test you. It's going to try you. But at the end of the day, it's in love. It's in love. I guess it's my last point. Like I said, you know, character is something that God's been dealing with me with. You know, just being more patient, more understanding. And it's a struggle, yo. And I'm not saying it like I'm just so down, but I'm saying it because knowing that the reward is so much greater, like, it's a stretch. You ever, you know, pulled the rubber band and it popped? Right. Not only did it pop, it popped you. And you not only feel the pain, but you can feel the tension from the other hand. Like, God is, for most of us in here, he's pulling, he's stretching, he's cutting, he's chipping away, and we cannot get discouraged because it don't make sense. I see jobs. I see people want to leave their job. I see people, I even see people want to relocate. And God is saying we're under a mantle right now to where in our obedience, God is willing to give us the things that we ask for. But the only problem is, if he gives us the things that he asked for, will we honor it? And we have to be careful with that. Because God, he said he's tired of making provisions for seasoned saints. God said he's tired of making provision for seasoned saints. He's trying to bless us. He's not trying to give us just enough. He wants to give us the more. And in the more, we have to allow God to get the matters of our hearts. So, in that, I just hope that, you know, we just take that and we just run with it. You know, not be scared, but to be free and allow God to change us first, change our heart posture, change the way that we think, our perspective, our narrative. Thank you.
Amen.